In this video, I'm going to show you how to create some awesome, epic, and unique tiny planet shots with your Insta360 X4. These unique shots are only possible with a 360 camera and tend to stand out on social media, and soon you will see why. So I've got 7 different effects to show you, so let's get started. Starting with a standard tiny planet, which is actually super easy to create. You can create this effect either while moving with your camera attached to a selfie stick, or when the camera is still on a tripod. Select which shot you want to apply the effect to in the Insta360 Studio or app. In the reframing controls, there's an option to instantly create the tiny planet effect, which you can then manipulate as the video plays. This is the most basic kind of tiny planet you can create, but now let me show you some shooting and editing tricks to get even better tiny planet videos that can go viral. To get the walking tiny planet effect, attach your camera to a small tripod and place it on the ground. Now take a few steps back from your camera and let it record while you run around the camera. Now run around the camera for 3 or 4 laps so that there's enough footage. Now in the Insta360 Studio or app, create the tiny planet effect as I showed at the start of this video. Add a keyframe at the start of your video and adjust the roll angle option so that you appear at the top of this tiny planet. As the video plays, add keyframes every few seconds and adjust the roll angle so that you remain at the top of the tiny planet. Now when you play it back, it will look like you are walking or running on top of your tiny planet. A top tip is that this type of shot works best in open areas with no tall objects near you, like a beach or a field. An inverted tiny planet is essentially the opposite of what I've just shown you, a normal tiny planet. You shoot this in exactly the same way as the normal tiny planet, but edit slightly differently. Select the clip you want to edit and once again select the tiny planet preset on the first keyframe. Now go to the tilt angle option and drag it down until the tiny planet is completely inverted. You can also add the walking effect in the same way as before by adjusting the roll angle options and adding keyframes so that the camera position has you at the bottom of this circle. The inverted tiny planet effect essentially creates a circle surrounded by whatever was close to the ground when you were recording. You can increase or decrease the size of this circle, which you will be standing in, by altering the zoom function in the keyframe options. Inverted tiny planets look best when you're surrounded by very tall objects like trees or buildings. You can create a pretty awesome jumping transition between the two types of tiny planets. With your camera on the ground, take a few steps back. Now on the spot, jump as high as you can and land like you are trying to push the ground down below you. Select your clip in the studio or app and make your first keyframe a standard tiny planet. Find the moment when you have jumped and your feet are just about to hit the ground and add another keyframe without any editing. Now add another keyframe roughly 1 second later and change the tilt angle so that the video turns into an inverted tiny planet. This is a great video to shoot during spring or summer and always gets people's attention. Attach your camera to an invisible selfie stick and find a flower bed that has a long enough walk for at least 10 or 15 seconds of footage. Extend your camera to around 1 meter away from your body and point it so that it's just above the flower bed. Now start walking along parallel to the flower bed and record with your camera just above the flowers. In the editor, mark your first keyframe so that it's an inverted tiny planet, and then you can adjust the zoom so that more or less of the flowers are visible. Now just to quickly mention guys, if you want some in-depth tutorials on how to use your Insta360 camera from shooting, editing, setting up, creating special effects like these and over 60 other special effects, then check out my ultimate Insta360 video course. It teaches you literally everything you need to know about shooting epic content with your Insta360 camera, including the X4. Check the link in the description as there's a special discount for my YouTube viewers. I take you step by step through every process, making it super simple for anyone to create amazing videos. So if you're interested in that, please check that out. But let's get back to this tutorial. For this simple but effective video, place your camera on a mini tripod and find some long grass or flowers. Place the camera amongst the foliage and start recording. Try and make sure the camera is completely surrounded by either grass, flowers, or whatever you've put it into, but nothing directly touching either lens. In the editor, create the inverted tiny planet effects. I recommend starting with the image slightly zoomed in and then adding a keyframe so that it slowly zooms out over 10 or 15 seconds. It looks great if you can include yourself kind of looking into this rabbit hole at some point during the clip. This drone-like effect is really easy to create, and it will make your viewers wonder how you did it. For this, you'll need the extra long invisible selfie stick and a large open area like a field or a beach. Extend the selfie stick with the camera attached to at least 1.5 meters in length. Now lay down in an open area with plenty of space around you and hold the selfie stick in between your legs. You'll find this easier if there's something like a small tripod attached to the bottom of the selfie stick. It can be a bit tricky, but you'll just have to use your leg muscles. Now let the camera record for 15 to 20 seconds while you lay on the grass or sand. In the editor, mark your first keyframe so that the camera is looking down directly at you, fairly zoomed in, so that your body takes up most of the frame. Now add another keyframe 15 or 20 seconds later, and then select the tiny planet preset. The video should slowly pan out and end up as a tiny planet with you at the center, and it will make it look like a drone has taken off from where you are laying. To create the wormhole effect, you'll need the Insta360 camera and an Insta360 extra long invisible selfie stick. Extend the selfie stick to its maximum length, find an area with a lot of open space, stand in one position and spin the selfie stick all the way around you, and continue to do so for at least 5 to 10 seconds. Now to create this effect, you find that starting position, press the mark a keyframe, and then we go into that tiny planet mode. We're looking for tilt angle, and we're gonna go all the way to the other side. Now, for every few keyframes, basically every second, we wanna be keeping the person right at the bottom there. So that's it guys, that's how you can create some awesome tiny planet videos with your Insta360 X4. Now a top tip is if you wanted to create a still image, because some of these tiny planet effects work really well on Instagram for still images as well. In the Insta360 Studio or app, you can take a screenshot of whatever you're editing. For example, in the jumping transition, if you could find the moment where you're the highest in the air, create an inverted tiny planet and freeze it there and take a screenshot, and you could post that on Facebook or Instagram as well. So you can get some more content just by doing that. But that's it guys, remember to check out my ultimate Insta360 video course. It includes these tutorials in much more depth than I've explained now. You get the full length tutorials, step by step showing you what to do, plus 60 other lessons. So there's a lot there if you want to get the most out of your Insta360 camera. But I'll still be posting some stuff here, so please subscribe if you're interested in that. And until next time, I'll see you around. Bye.